This week on NintenDomain, we investigate Detective Pikachu, and we mourn the upcoming death of the Wii Shop with our favorite virtual console games and WiiWare titles.
Hey, I got Princess Tomato, but what else should I get?
I spent 250 hours at the doctor.
Oh my god. Welcome to NintenDomain, episode 114. Not my favorite number, but still. It's a good number. We're here to bring you the greatest and latest Nintendo news as your number 5 favorite video game podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Trey Bukutte Upa Johnson.
I'm Jeremy. I've never had this many points before on the Wii Shop. It's 4,200. Mikowski.
I'm John Parzival Knitter.
Parzival. What's that?
Yeah, I get the reference. I get it.
Yeah, you don't get it.
You don't get it. We get it.
Oh, what is it from that terrible movie that
you
you saw
don't get
earlier?
It.
You just don't get it.
We get it.
Which I haven't asked about because I want to have it on the show. We talk about that. Anyway, what's new, guys? Do you want to talk news or do you want to talk games?
Let's say whatever. I bought a lot of stuff, so.
Yeah, I bought a lot of stuff too, but that'll be in our topic. Because the topic of the week, of course, is going to be the Wii Shop, which in the news, I'm sure you guys know by now, but the Wii Shop officially closed its doors as far as buying coins or buying points as of Monday. It was sometime on Monday. I added all the money on Sunday because I wasn't sure what time it was going to be. But I remember checking Monday night and it did say you can't add any more coins. So that option completely disappeared from the shop. So I ended up adding an extra $30 on there just because I'll never be able to do it again. So, but I ended up finishing out. I had around 4,500 points too. And I came up with an equation that equaled out all of it. So I have no points left on the Wii Shop now. So.
Wow.
But we'll talk about that. I got around 10 games for it. We'll talk about that in our second half. But for games that I got this week, other than that, I got a little game called Gekido Kintaro's Revenge, which is a remake of a Game Boy Advance game. That was my stream for last week for Thursday. It's not great. It's okay. There's a couple things that would make it better. There's not unlimited continues on it. It's kind of like a Streets of Rage type game, but there's not unlimited continues. And the only checkpoints you get are when you beat a level, and it'll save how many lives you have after that. So however many lives you basically have to beat every level with not losing any lives, which is incredibly annoying. If they would have not done that, it would be a lot more playable. So I kind of ran into that as a problem with that game. Plus there's pits that you walk over and you just fall down, you fall down on the ground, you don't fall into the pit. Aside from that, it could be fun though. I mean, there's they did updated cutscenes and stuff in there and all that, but it's a bit much. It was $15 and I kind of wanted to try it out just because it's Game Boy Advance game, but
I'd say that's really interesting. It's a remake of a Game Boy Advance game. Have we seen anything like that? Well, not on the Switch, at least.
Not that I know of, aside from the Shantae games. Those are games.
Oh, you know what? The Mario and Luigi remake, that was a Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah, but not on the Switch.
Oh, right. Okay, that was 3DS.
We haven't seen anything on the Switch yet, except for Shantae. Because that one game that's already on there, I believe, is a Game Boy Advance game. But yeah, it was kind of just out of pure interest, but yeah, I wish they had a better continue system on there. But the really good game that I got this week is Detective Pikachu. I really like that game. I probably played 5 hours maybe of it. I played through the first three chapters, or I'm on the third chapter. And
they're really pushing for that game. I just saw an ad for it on the movie that I went to go see.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that movie too. Really? There was a trailer for it? Or was it
Yeah, there was a trailer for it before the movie.
Was it the Ryan Reynolds movie or was it for the game?
No, it was for the game.
I hope there was a teaser for the Ryan Reynolds movie. I'd be like, wow, that's quick. Yeah, no, Detective Pikachu is cool. It's very much more of a point and click adventure than Phoenix Wright. Your guy moves around, you move around your character and you have to find evidence to help you solve different things. But basically the story is the Pikachu that you had was the pet of your father who was a famous private investigator. And your father has gone missing. So I have a feeling that he's dead and his spirit is in Pikachu. And that's why Pikachu sounds like him. Because the Pikachu never talked before his dad disappeared. And he's basically lost all of his Pokemon powers ever since his dad disappeared. So he can like spark a little bit, but he can't really do like any of the Pikachu, any of the thunder moves or anything like that.
So it's kind of like Geist.
Sort of. I guess everything's like Geist, right? If something's possessed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I gathered from it. I haven't read any spoilers. I don't know what happens at the end, but that's what I took from it. That I was like, I bet you anything that the soul of his dad is in Pikachu, and that maybe he's dead because his dad's like completely gone. And that's like the overarching mystery through the whole thing. You do like little mysteries for each chapter, but that's the big thing you're looking for is what happened to your father and like whether he was killed or not. And he was investigating this Pokemon research company that I've become an employee of, but I have like a fake name, like I didn't say my actual name, so you're kind of like undercover working for this Pokemon company. But I really like the game because it's basically like, it's a game based in the Pokemon world, but it's not like a Pokemon game, and I kind of like that. It's not as intense, like you don't have to collect like 100 guys, you don't have to like raise up your guys. It's not like a 100+ hour game like most Pokemon games. And I kind of like that. It's nice to have a game where you can like live in the world, but not be as intense as the RPG stuff. It's cool to have a spin-off like that, I guess. And everything's...
Did the other Pokemon talk or no?
Yeah, no, it's all voice acted. Everything is like fully voiced, which is awesome.
But I mean, did the other Pokemon speak or just Pikachu?
I mean, no, they don't speak like in English, like they speak in Pokemon talk. Like they say, they say their names. But,
right.
But Detective Pikachu can talk to them and he understands what they're saying. So
he's like, he's a translator.
Yeah, so he'll translate what they're saying to you. So like, you do a lot of interrogating of people where you ask them about different events and stuff. And you can talk to Pokemon and they'll tell you what their feelings on it. So that's really cool. And they're actually scale to like where they would be, what they would actually look like. So like there's like I think it's a Troubadour, whatever. It's the evolved form of the Trubbish, of the garbage Pokemon. Like you meet him in the laboratory and he's like huge, like he's like, pretty big, and there's like a tree ghost guy also that's pretty big, so. And they move like the way you expect them to move, and they look good, and like I think the whole game looks good. There's no 3D on it, but the past few Pokemon have only had 3D in some segments, so.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun to play, I like it. It's, it's basically, like I said, it's like a point and click, sort of, with Pikachu and in the world of Pokemon. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. I haven't gotten through all of it yet, just because I've been distracted by the Wii Shop stuff. But I recommend it from what I've played of it. It's really cool. I'm glad.
How does it compare with the games we were talking about last week, Wake Wait and Phoenix Wright?
It's different. It's very different from Phoenix Wright. Like, it's not really, I mean, it's very, when I said like Sam and Max wasn't like that much of a detective game, I would say that Detective Pikachu's more like Sam and Max than it is, Phoenix Wright.
Got it. In
basically where it's kind of like, explore the area, find the thing that'll get you to the next thing type stuff. And there's sort of like puzzles that you have to figure out, like there's a part where I had to make this specific medicine for Pokemon, and I had to figure out what the ingredients were on it, like that type of thing. You have to find the right stuff to put in. And you do a little like sort of matchmaking mini game thing where you try to set it up in the right way, and if it's wrong, it'll tell you it's wrong, you gotta do it again. Like that type of thing. And there's like, you keep notes that you can read on the bottom screen and about different things, and it'll be like, you'll talk to somebody and it'll be like, oh yeah, they said this thing, so then there'll be a note about this that you can look later. It's where like when they said this about this might be important for another thing, so you can consult your notes and stuff. But it's all about like, figuring out problems and stuff like that. And, Pikachu's kind of a creep towards the girls too. He's all about flirting with the ladies and trying to get to like the kid. So that's why I kind of thought that maybe he was his dad also. Plus like all the stuff he does, he said he never did before. Like he drinks a lot of coffee and, and he's old and can't run very fast and all that stuff. But there's a lot of really funny stuff in it. Like on the bottom screen, there's a Pikachu picture of him, and every once in a while it'll like flash, and whenever you hit it, there'll be like a weird cutscene of like one of the other Pokemon like messing with him, or him like tripping and falling in something, or like he'll hit a button, and there's like one where you hit a button and then like a vent comes on and he almost gets sucked into the vent. There's like just these little funny cutscenes that happen whenever you click on his picture in the bottom. So it's like a super fun, lighthearted game, and it's been a lot of fun to play.
Was your first thought immediately Ryan Reynolds should play him in a movie?
No.
No?
I mean, yeah, the whole Ryan Reynolds thing doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me.
What about Kyle MacLachlan?
He's not really like snarky or anything. You know, he's not like Kyle MacLachlan. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm just thinking of all the coffee.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a whole different movie if Coop, like the character of Coop as Kyle MacLachlan as Coop, played Pikachu. That would make the whole thing completely weird and bizarre. They should have David Lynch direct it too. I would love to see that movie. Detective Pikachu, directed by David Lynch. There has to be, somebody had to have made a video out there. That's a video that needs to be made. I'm like Pikachu and they're like, damn, this pie is good. Bring me some coffee. They do drink their coffee the same way though. They both like it black, so, you know. As black as a moonless night at midnight or something like that. I think that's what Coop said in an episode. But yeah, no, I don't really, I don't know how I feel about the Ryan Reynolds thing. Cause he doesn't, unless he can do a really good old man voice, because like Pikachu's supposed to sound old, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, but usually when they hire a celebrity for voiceover, they don't have them do a voice. It's just their voice. I expect to hear Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, no, you're right. They probably don't. They're not going to be like, hey, Ryan Reynolds, can you do an impression of Danny DeVito for for this? Because we really wanted him, but he was too expensive, so we got you. Right? Yeah. But yeah, no, I've been enjoying it, and I'm planning on playing it through to its completion. It's a super fun game. But those are my two purchases aside from the Wii shop, as far as I know.
I think I told you I bought a Lego City Undercover. It was on sale for
for $15. Yeah, that's a good deal. I saw you were playing it last night. Do you like it?
I like it so far. It's pretty straightforward so far, but I mean, it's fun for what it is. And it was $15, so it's good. I've been waiting to play it since I first got my Wii U. I almost bought it, and then it became a budget title, and then I never bought it, and then came in a Switch for $60. Wasn't it $60 when it first came out?
I thought it was $50.
Oh, it was expensive.
It's still like too expensive for like a 3-year-old game or 4-year-old game, or it was like really early. It was like one of the first releases for Wii U, so it was kind of weird to put it at full price. But that seems to be what they do to most of their games. So yeah. I don't know.
So somehow it went down to 30, and then it was half off at 15.
Yeah.
So I bought it, and it's pretty fun so far. I also bought yesterday. There was a coupon code for eBay where you get 15% off of any purchase over $25.
Oh wow, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it was, I found the Wario64 Twitter, actually, that's how I found out about it.
Oh yeah.
But, so I was like, well, I don't have a lot of money. You could have I saw articles on Reddit about you could get a Switch for like $254. I think it was something like that yesterday if you'd bought it on eBay. But, I bought, Splatoon, the original Splatoon.
Oh, nice. For Wii U?
Yeah, for Wii U. So I just wanted to get it, and I was like, now's my chance. So I bought like a nice, really good quality a good condition copy of it with everything. It was exactly $25 with free shipping. So I got it for $21.75. I think is what it came out to.
Oh wow. We should stream that sometime.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited because I like Splatoon 2 a lot, and I'm like, I finally need to get Splatoon. I've been talking about it for years.
Yeah. If you viewers don't know or you haven't seen it, Jeremy and I, we've been trying to do a weekly Friday night, Splatoon 2 stream. We did one last week, and we did one for the past 2 weeks. And, so we've been doing it's like around 2 a.m, been playing some, and we actually figured out how to, be on the same team, or at least be in the same match. We're not always on the same team, but we finally figured out how to do that, which is weird. It's just like one person has to pick something and then the other one's, and then you join them. But yeah, we should play Splatoon 1 at some point because I know the internet's still going on that, like the online's still going, and people still play it. Mm-hmm. It's gonna kind of weird.
It should be fun. I think one of the big reasons I wanted to get it was for the single player mode. I want to try to get the full experience.
Oh, sure.
Since there's more single player content coming soon.
Yeah, you want to play the single player on both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to kind of weird you out though because the jump button, is switched on the Wii U one.
Oh, is it? Damn it.
Yeah, that's because that fucked me over for Splatoon 2 because I was used to the jump button being in a certain place on the Wii U, and then they switched it. So I was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like, it's the same button layout. Like, you don't need to switch them, but they do. So it's basically, it's B now and it's Y on, or X. It's whatever the top one is.
So they switched the top and bottom button pretty much?
Yeah, they switched of the diamond. Like the X.
That's weird.
They switch X and B. So X is jump on Wii U, and X is map on Switch. So good luck with that. you have a good time doing that.
Well, oh well. But yeah, I wanted to get it in. Now I'm finally going to have it. And I want to try playing it with the gamepad and see if that's better because
that's the only way you can play it, man.
You're talking about it a little bit early on playing Splatoon 2 that you miss the gamepad features.
Oh yeah, well the gamepad you can just see the map at all times. Like it shows you, it shows you the map and how much paint has been painted or whatever. And you can warp in that way, where you just tap on whatever character you want to go to instead of bringing up the map. And it's quicker, I guess, and you can always see the map whenever you want to look at it. Oh yeah, and of course we were talking about the 8-bit games that you get to play. You get to play like these retro games while you're waiting to get matched up, and that's always fun.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
You get to play.
There were these, they're basically like Splatoon 8-bit games that you play on the screen. They're not actual Nintendo games. But there's like a racing game, there's a rhythm game, there's like a volleyball game that you play. There's like 5 or 6 of them, and they're all different like 8-bit games that you can play, that you play in the controller while you're waiting. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, there's like a jumping game also, I think. Like, sort of like a, it's like a vertical scroller, like kind of like a Kid Icarus, where you just try to get as high as you can get without getting killed. Like they're very, very simple games, but they were just little stuff that was added there for when you're waiting to get matched up. And getting matched up was pretty quick on that, so I didn't really have to play those for a whole lot. But it was a nice bonus to have there. Now all you can do is bend the notes on Splatoon 2. Just move the analog sticks around. It's like,
Yep, that's it.
But yeah, tune in for our Splatoon streams on Friday night. I'll also be doing the ARMS Party Crash stream on Saturday, which I guess that's part of our news. But I don't know if you can do that with the demo. But if you can, you guys should play that as well. We could all try to do that.
I just downloaded that today, and it's not up and working yet. Nothing is going on with that. So.
Yeah, no, it doesn't start till the 31st, which is Saturday.
Yep.
But you can download the client right now, so it's ready to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you can't.
Which I haven't done yet, I don't think.
Yeah. Was that the last thing you got then? The Splatoon 1?
That's all I got, yeah, other than the Wii stuff.
Oh, okay. Cool. Do you have anything, John?
I didn't buy any games this week, no.
No, but you bought a ticket to something, right?
I bought a ticket to something, yeah, we can talk about that.
Or did you use your movie pass? Because I would have used the movie pass for that, yeah.
Yeah. I went to see Ready Player One.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I thought it was good. Like,
cool.
I don't know what rating I would give it. Maybe a 3 out of 4.
You mean a 3 out of 5? What is your 4?
It's 75%.
Okay. Oh, normally it's like a 5 or a 10. Just kind of threw me out. 3 stars out
of 4
I give it a
3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah. It'd be like a 3.75 out of 5.
Yeah. So it was good. It was worth seeing. And,
is there anything actually video game related in it? Because, according to the trailer, it has a bunch of reference stuff that's not video game related, which kind of threw me off.
It's a mix of things. It's a mix of video games, movies, just general pop culture, and, but leaning towards video games. And, I'll leave it non-spoilery, so nobody has to worry.
Yeah.
I'll just give general impressions. I read the book, and I will say that if you've read the book, they made a lot of changes. And I really loved the book, so I think I have to see it again. I might give it a higher rating.
Yeah.
Just because there was a lot of stuff from the book that was not there, or changed or shifted around in some way, which I didn't quite understand why they did.
Yeah.
It's just different. It's not that I don't know if it's better or worse, but it's just different.
Yeah.
So if you've read the book, go in leaving your expectations at the door.
Well, I have no expectations, so mine are at the door or somewhere. I think mine are in the doghouse. But, is there any sort of reference to Nintendo whatsoever in this movie?
No.
Yeah, see,
not that I could find.
That's sacrilegious right there.
Well, there's a lot of stuff like, okay, the Battletoads are in there. That's no surprise. That was in the trailer.
Were they?
If you want to call that Nintendo, I guess it's Microsoft now.
Yeah.
But then I was looking at the end at the credits where it said, all the copyrights. I saw Capcom in there. I saw Bandai Namco.
Mm-hmm. Is Street Fighter in there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. 2 parts at Street Fighter. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything.
Is it just the main guys, anyway, or is it just the main guys, or is like Abigail in there and like all the weird ones?
Chun-Li was in the trailer.
Okay. I don't remember her in the trailer. The only people I remember from the trailer is like Iron Giant, Freddy, and the car from Back to the Future, which are all things that are not video game at all. I mean, there's a really shitty Back to the Future game, but I didn't think they'd want to reference that in a movie that's supposed to be about good
Back to the Future game.
So the game, without spoiling anything too much, like it's at the beginning, but at least in the book, like the guy who they're like pursuing his clues or whatever within the video game, he was just an 80s pop culture junkie, but he was more or less into like Dungeons and Dragons before anything else. So most of his like references are more like tabletop stuff, like before it becomes like video game. And there is some video game stuff that's like more rooted in the super old school,
right,
early 80s, late 70s, sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he loves video games, and I think the main thing is video games, but it does branch off into other stuff too. And, like in the book, it talked a lot about, the music of the 80s. And there's a whole part where they go into Rush. And,
well, that was in the trailer.
Rush was in the trailer. Yeah, that was a little reference to that.
Yeah.
They changed a lot of that stuff in the movie. I mean, it's kind of just giving fan service to that mention in the book, which was much deeper in the book. Yeah, but it's not just video games. So don't go in thinking, seeing a video game tribute movie, because that's not quite it. And that's not what the book was really anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I really have like I said, I have no expectations whatsoever. Like I didn't really care for the trailer, and I don't really care to see it. Like I don't want to pay for it. Like I'll watch it for free maybe at some point, but my level of excitement for it is probably like a -5, I think.
Why was your level of excitement a -5?
Cause I don't care about anything in the movie. Like there's nothing there's nothing I care about in there. It's like, this looks like I don't know. It just looks like a movie that there's nothing compelling me to see it. Like I don't really care about the characters. I don't really care about the story. Like I know that there's no Nintendo licensing in there. I mean, I'm kind of intrigued because Street Fighter's in there. I'll see it to see that, I guess, but it doesn't really look like an entertaining story to me at all. But that's just me, I don't like movies that are based on nostalgia, really.
Does it talk about those Atari games, the Fable?
Yes.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. Like I like that reference in the book a lot.
It's just I guess the references
Atari. Yep.
I guess the reference I don't care about.
The contest that they never completed because all the games didn't come out or whatever.
Yeah, they mentioned that a little. They mentioned that more toward the end. In the book, that's mentioned at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mentioned more toward the end. The parallel is not as clearly drawn to that contest as it was in the book. It's more kind of something that's mentioned. I think there was a line that was mentioned in the movie.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah. I mean, you can never fit a whole book into a movie well.
Yeah, and I know that too. I'm a writer as well. I write scripts and stuff, and I know they had to make some sacrifices and change things. There were still some things that I thought, I didn't know why they had to do this or that, and I think they could have thought of something that was a little bit more true to the book. But again, it's you're just going with different expectations, and I think you'll be satisfied.
If you could give it a rating based on a video game movie that's already out, what would you give it? Like on a scale from Tomb Raider to Resident Evil, what would you
what was the top of that scale? I didn't hear.
I said Tomb Raider to Resident Evil, even though I don't think Tomb Raider's the top. But just
the top would probably be the Wizard, right?
Well, I'm talking about stuff that's actually based on video games, which I guess this one isn't either. Because supposedly Tomb Raider holds the highest, the newest one holds the highest Rotten Tomatoes review of any video game movie.
Any video game movie.
That's why I'm saying that it's the best. I mean, I think the best video game movie is Wreck-It Ralph, but that's me.
I think it's comparable to Wreck-It Ralph.
But I like Wreck-It Ralph because it actually has video games in it.
Yeah, it's definitely more like a Wreck-It Ralph, and I would put it somewhere. I'd put it somewhere in that vicinity, quality-wise, too.
Was there a lot of Spielberg properties in it since he directed it? And those were referenced a lot in the book, where they kind of liberally peppered in there since he made.
No, I didn't really notice. I mean, there's the Back to the Future car, but that one was kind of unavoidable because it was
part of
prevalent throughout the book.
Narrative, yeah.
No.
And but he definitely scaled back. I didn't see any references to Goonies, even though I remember seeing a Goonies poster in the promo artwork. But no, I didn't see any real obvious Spielberg references. I think he removed most of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's surprising because I thought he would be more likely to use them since he directed it.
Yeah. Well, he didn't actually direct Goonies, though. He just produced it.
He produced it,
That's kind of what bothers me about Spielberg, is that he gets more credit than he actually deserves. Because he didn't direct a lot of those movies that are really good, that people think he did. Like the Goonies and Gremlins and such.
Jaws.
Which
I think is probably my favorite movie.
That and Hook.
It is? Really?
That and what else? I agree with you though.
That's what I said. It's
that and Hook.
That and Hook, yeah. Which, you get, whoever's listening to this, you can at me if you want, but I really don't like Hook that much. Sorry.
Oh.
And I don't think it's aged that well over the years. Fight me on
You're
Twitter.
You're not alone. A lot of people didn't like that movie.
Find me on Twitter.
It's got a couple
turns out.
At Nintendo_domain. Fight me. It was one of those things that I saw when I was a kid, and when I watched it later, I don't think it's all that great.
Yeah, I think Mrs. Doubtfire was better.
Did he direct that one?
I don't know, but I'm just thinking Robin Williams movies.
Oh, yeah. What about that super mediocre one that was nominated for an Oscar? The Post? Did you see that?
I saw that one.
I feel like the last few, like, Spielberg nominated movies have all been like, I don't know, super middle of the road snore fests.
Post Spielberg.
Like The Post, and what was the one before that with Tom Hanks? That one was boring too. The World War or whatever, where he like goes and has to give his coat to get directions.
World of Warcraft?
Yeah, World of Warcraft. No, I don't remember what it was called. I don't know. Do you feel like he gets, like he does well with the movie? I mean, he's been making, like I said, he's been making a whole lot of, Oscar bait movies over the years, it seems like. This is different for him. Like he hasn't really gotten into
it. Was a fun movie.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see him take a break from super serious Oscar baity movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does a good job. He did Minority Report as well, which was a pretty great movie. And, it looks similar to Minority Report, but it's like that, but it's more of a fun tone to it.
How would you rate it on scale of Spielberg movies? I'm kidding. You don't have to do that. Is it from BFG to E.T.? Let's see, E.T.'s another one.
BFG to E.T.
I never saw the BFG, but it looks awful. Bridge of Spies, that was cause he did like Lincoln and Bridge of Spies and The Post, and those were all like mediocre Oscar bait movies. I guess I didn't watch all of Lincoln, so I don't know. Maybe that one got better. But I watched Bridge of Spies and The Post, and I thought they were both
Lincoln.
I thought they were both pretty forgettable.
I mean, it's definitely more in the Jurassic Park range of his catalog.
Yeah.
And,
are there dinosaurs in there?
Yeah, there's actually a dinosaur in there, which I was told was from Jurassic Park. Maybe that's another reference of his, but how can you tell, it's a dinosaur?
I mean, if it's like one that's, I don't know, if I'd say if it was like a Dilophosaur or like a Velociraptor, you'd probably say that
it was a T-Rex.
From that, I guess. Yeah. Well, I mean, T-Rex does play a big part, but it is a dinosaur. Like, you could kind of just like, if there was any sort of like licensing thing with that, you could be like, oh, it's just a dinosaur. Like, it's not the Jurassic Park dinosaur.
So sure, it's a Jurassic Park T-Rex. Sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely like that kind of Steven Spielberg movie, sort of in the Jurassic Park range of just, fun.
Nice.
And, I don't know if it's as good as Jurassic Park, but I enjoyed it.
Is it as fun as
Schindler's
Schindler's
List?
Yeah, Jeremy slipped in a comment there that said Schindler's List was one of his fun ones.
Sorry.
It's more fun than Schindler's List.
Or no, not that Flintstones List.
Oh, Flintstones List. Oh, okay. He didn't direct that Flintstones movie, did he? No, I don't know. Yeah,
I was referencing the Clerks cartoons.
Yeah.
Remember that time we did watch Flintstones List?
Yeah. That was the part they couldn't show on TV. When they
got rid of that?
When they had to carry it, I think it got cut because it was too controversial. Where the Jewish Flintstone people are basically carrying the train that takes them to the concentration camps.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Anyway,
I understand why that wasn't allowed on TV now.
On that note, is there any other thoughts you wanted to say about Ready Player One, or do you want to go to talk some news here?
I think you should give it a chance. Go see it. And I know there's at least one surprise in there that you will like.
Well, I mean, I like Street Fighter, so I mean, it might remind me of Street Fighter. I really don't, I bought Infinity War tickets already because I figured they're going to be gone and they're already on sale. So that's what I did. I bought tickets to that movie.
Well, there was one point in the movie where I specifically thought, oh, Trey would like this.
Oh, is Doom in it? That'd be awesome. Is it Doom guy?
I don't want to say.
Yeah. Well,
go see the movie.
Okay. It's just kind of like seeing a movie that's like supposed to be the future and we all live in video games. Like, I believe that, but it's really hard to have that as a foreseeable future if there's no existence of like the games that I like in there. There's no like presence of, except for Street Fighter, I guess. But like there's no presence of like Dragon Quest or like Mario or Sonic or any of that stuff, which I understand it's a licensing thing. That's why it's hard to make a movie like that and make it necessarily interesting and believable, because if it was
we got a bunch
really,
of stuff, and I'm confident there's stuff that even I missed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just.
It's also right. The guy is like it's about one person's specific taste. Like, and the main character of the movie has the same taste as this person because he's trying to learn about him.
Mm.
Right.
So things are excluded because they weren't interesting to the. I guess ultimately probably the writer of the book. But.
Yeah. Well, it's like from what I gather, it's like the guy who created whatever game he's playing, right? Like there's some sort of Easter egg or something he's supposed to find. Yeah. Like that's basically what it is.
But he's presented like within the game, he's presented almost as like a David Crane type or whatever. I think maybe he was compared to David Crane. Like just like an early innovator in what he did.
David Crane's the God of War guy, right?
Did like Pitfall and stuff, like the Activision guy who created Activision.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Boy in his blob.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost got that. I almost got a Boy in his blob on the Wii Shop, the Tale of Bobloni or whatever it's on there. But
no, you can't.
No, I can't. No, you're right. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Maybe I should get it.
Anyway, let's talk about the news for a second. There's not a whole lot, but there's some stuff I want to mention. We talked about ARMS Party Crash. There is an event for ARMS coming up this weekend, the 31st through the 2nd, I think. It's I don't know who. I think it's like Max Brass versus somebody. I know he's in there. I don't know. But I'll play it definitely on Saturday, so make sure and tune into Twitch and check that out. Aside from that, the big news for me that I'm kind of like freaking out about, I don't know if you saw this, but Dragon Quest XI got a release date, but it didn't get a release date for the Switch or the 3DS, which is kind of like, has me worried. And speaking of Wario, you mentioned Wario 64 earlier. Well, I read a tweet that he said saying that, which I hope this isn't true, but he said that the 3DS version isn't coming to America, and that the Switch one is going to come way later than the PS4 version. So both of those news suck for me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way I'm going to be able to like let a Dragon Quest exist out there like a brand new one that I can't play. So I'd end up playing it on PS4, but I really wanted to. I really wanted to play the 3DS version because I heard that was the best version. Like the one that had the two where it does the 3D and the 2D at the same time and you can switch between them. Like from what I heard from 8-4 Play, that's the best version of it because you can do all this cool Street Pass stuff where you can play through the old games. Like you can do events that have to do with the big stories of like all the Dragon Quests before that. And I thought that sounded amazing. And I really liked the art design on the 3DS one. I thought it looked really cool. And yeah, that really bums me out that there's the possibility, and this isn't like necessarily fact or anything, but the possibility of Dragon Quest XI not coming to a Nintendo console this year, that really bums me out because that was my big, that was like my big game that I was looking for aside from, Octopath Traveler, my big one of the year. So that sucks. So I don't know. I guess I might have to get the PS4 one, but I really wanted to I was really hoping for, and I guess a lot of us were, we were all hoping for a simultaneous release for, Dragon Quest XI on Switch and PS4. I don't know what the holdup is. But as of right now, it's August 8th, I believe. So it's still kind of a way in the future. Maybe they'll figure something out before that. But I think Dragon Quest Builders 2 is supposed to release on the same day as the others. But one didn't because the Switch wasn't out when that one came out originally. But Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, like that never came to America even though it was supposed to. So I was afraid of that same sort of situation happening for Dragon Quest XI where it just kind of just doesn't come out. And just because of how much I like Dragon Quest and how much I want RPGs on the Switch, basically what's going to happen is I'm going to have to buy it 2 times. Because I'm going to buy it on PS4 and I'm going to play through it on PS4. And then when it comes out for the Switch, I'm going to buy it again because I have to support it on the platform, So I don't want to do that either. I wish it would just all come out and I just get it on the Switch, but it sucks. Any thoughts on that?
Not for them. They're going to get your money twice.
Yeah. I just wish it was, a simultaneous release on the Switch and the PS4. I don't know what happened there. What's going on, Yuji Horii? Laying in your slimes and lying to me.
I was actually reading something that's on the Nintendo Switch subreddit about how Nintendo's USB-C doesn't follow industry protocols. It's not USB-C compliant. That's why.
What does that mean?
That's why it's shorting out with all these third-party docks.
Oh.
Because it's not using USB-C in the standard way that it's used across the industry.
Oh.
And that's why only their specific power supply works right.
Well, that makes sense.
It's very Nintendo. We're going to use USB-C, but we're going to do it in a different way or break everything.
Right, and that's kind of, people are kind of pissed off about it.
Well, I mentioned that before with the problem that I had where I brought like a third-party charger with me on vacation and it wouldn't work. Like I couldn't get it to make the dock show it on the TV. And I had to go buy a Nintendo one, so That makes sense. Where they made their own specific one to make it work. Is that why like people are having broken systems and all that from using third parties?
Well, according to this, and I didn't want to jump to conclusions because I haven't read the articles, but it could possibly be the reason why. It's not confirmed that's why.
Yeah.
But Nintendo is being criticized by some people for not following industry protocols with their use of, something that they're trying to standardize, USB-C. As you know, it's like how you charge a lot of phones now. It's becoming kind of it's replacing micro USB, or they're trying to get it to replace micro USB, which I would be happy if they did because it sucks. The thing that charges like everything.
Yeah.
Because USB-C, as you know with the Switch, you can plug it in either way. It always plugs in right, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It's like the iPhone, the way the iPhone one is supposed to work. Except mine doesn't work like that. Even though it's the same on both sides, I still have to plug it in a certain way for it to work.
Oh, really?
But that's mine. It's been like that for every iPhone plug I've had. But aside from that, I saw that you can get 200 gig cards for $60 now.
Oh, wow.
So if you guys are looking for those, it was on. Somebody put it up on the Facebook saying that it's like as slow as it has been. I didn't really look where they got it from. But maybe it was a sale
on Amazon or Newegg or like.
It was probably Amazon, I would think. I don't know. I guess I should have looked. Well, it says you can get it for 68 on Prime. It might have been a deal. It was only so many days. But I think that's what I got mine for, and it was like a day sale. But I did see that it was on there for that.
Is that what yours is? 200 gig?
Yeah. And I got it for 60 and it was on sale. So it is possible, but it might have just been for a day and then gone. There's apparently there's an update that came out today.
Yeah, I went to download that ARMS test punch thing and it told me I needed an update. So
yeah,
it was a quick one. That's 5.01 or something like that. Yeah, I don't know what it does, but they said it just updates the general stability.
Yeah, 5.0 was only like 2 weeks ago. So it hadn't been out for that long. I guess some people were having trouble with it though, right? Like it was bricking some systems. I think I read that, but I haven't had problems with it, thankfully. But yeah, no, I downloaded it as well just because you told me about it and, I didn't see any, I don't know, I didn't run into any additions or anything. I guess you sent me a link of it from a European site, right?
Yep.
Then they were talking about that there's supposed to be a bunch of sales on Doom and
Skyrim and FIFA.
Yeah. Except they aren't on.
That's just in Europe.
Yeah. But if you have your own European name, you can do that. If you have your own thing, you can hop on there and do it. Is it true that a Punch-Out comes out this week? I think I saw that. Like the arcade Punch-Out's supposed to come out in the arcade archives. Is that coming out tomorrow?
It comes out March 30th in Japan. And no word yet on the U.S. release.
Okay, so I can still get it tomorrow. I'll just get it through. Yeah. I'll just get it through Japan. I might have some points left over from the Mario arcade one that I got on there.
I was actually thinking about picking up Thimbleweed Park, which is 50% off right now.
Yeah.
Maybe finally using my Wii points, which will pay for most of it.
Yeah, I saw that. It's 50% off now. I mean, that's a
really
my
gold
good deal.
Points is what I meant. My gold Nintendo points.
Sure. Yeah, no, I saw that on there as well on the sale stuff. On the shop stuff, apparently the Bad Dudes game has been like completely removed from the coming soon. So I don't know what's going on with that game. That game keeps toying with me. It was supposed to come out last week and then it was supposed to come out this week and now it's not on there at all, so.
And they changed its name and
they changed
seems awfully timid for a couple of bad dudes.
Yeah. Well, they changed the name of it and now it's gone. So I put I kind of promoted it a little bit on YouTube about me playing it tomorrow. So hopefully it comes out so I can still stream it because I wanted to try to defend, try to make myself look better after my Double Dragon playthrough that I did so terribly at and try to do Bad Dudes and see if I can do that one better. But, yeah, if that one, I don't know. If that one doesn't come out, I'm gonna do the Punch-Out one regardless, but it'd be weird if they just took it out. Was it Outlast 2 came out this week? Like that just kind of dropped. It's $30. I haven't beat Outlast 1 yet, so I didn't even get it. Plus
was it the one with the dicks?
Yeah, Outlast 1 was the one with the dicks.
Are there bigger dicks in this one?
They're double dicks. It's part 2. You see 2 at once instead of 1.
The dicks have their own dicks.
Yeah.
Now with dicks.
Yeah, now dicks.
Other than that, I don't know if there's a whole lot of stuff. I didn't really see much in the coming soon. There's
soon, dicks.
Yeah. Dicks. There's a
Mario
game.
Odyssey got an update with new outfits.
Yeah, you got a couple new outfits for Mario Odyssey. Was it Satellaview and a baseball outfit?
Yeah, we got the
Opening
baseball
day.
outfit and the Satellaview outfit there.
You
Your
can
control sticks look weird.
Yeah, I've got little grips on there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's opening day for baseball.
Oh, that's why they did that.
Today.
They didn't want to re-release Mario Baseball again, like they did for Wii U that one year. Like they released it digitally, the Wii version.
If you look at Mario's jersey, it says Griffey Jr. on it.
Does it?
Really?
I wish it did.
No, I just made that up.
There's some sort of arcade game coming out for Neo Geo. I saw it on the Japanese eShop, and I can't read Japanese, so I couldn't tell what the actual name was. But that's on there. But aside from that, there's not really a whole lot of notable releases this week. Seems like the Switch is kind of slowing down. I guess Tokitori 1 is coming out, and if you buy it now, you can get it for the introductory price of $4.50, which is pretty damn cheap. So if you want to see how Tokitori began, you can check that out. Tokitori 1. Still none of those games from GDC have shown up on the coming soon, which is weird. So I don't know what's up with that. Still no release dates for their spring 2018 stuff.
I think there was a Snake Pass update. I haven't gotten it yet, but
yeah, because you're planning on playing that game again, right?
I think they added like a new mode or something, and there's they
there's
updated the icon.
Yeah, there's an arcade mode now. I don't really see myself returning to Snake Pass anytime soon, so it was kind of like a non-story for me. But unless there's anything else that you guys know of, I think that's it for news for me.
What was confirmed? Hold on. Did we mention Lego The Incredibles?
Oh, yeah. I saw that, but I didn't mention it. Lego The Incredibles 2, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be 2, right? Because that one's on the whatever.
Yeah, you're right. It is kind of slowing down. But you know what? I don't know what.
Here's this is the tweet that I was talking about earlier about Dragon Quest with Wario64. 3DS version of Dragon Quest XI will not be localized. Switch version being developed for Europe and North America will have a long way to go until its release. That makes me very sad. And on that note, let's take a break so I can cry for a minute before we start talking about Wii Shop games. So yeah, the Wii Shop has, like I said before, it's closed its doors. It will not accept your money anymore, which is a weird thing to say, but.
That is weird.
Yeah. So you cannot put any more money in there, but I put like $50 in a couple weeks ago, and then I added another 30 to it just because, I watched a couple videos of stuff of different things and want to just add some extra stuff in there so I could put some more stuff in there. But, what did you get from your, how much have you put on, Jeremy?
Well, I threw $60 on there total, and so far I've purchased, I got Rondo of Blood, I got the, Princess Tomato, and I got Euphoria.
Did you play Princess Tomato or Rondo of Blood?
Or Utopia, whatever the hell it's called. What's that game called?
Euphoria.
Okay, I was right. It's just 4 with F-O-U-R. Yeah, I played a little bit of, Rondo. I really liked what I played so far. In fact, I didn't know for sure if you'd played it or not. I was going to post a video, but if you've played it already, I won't. I'm just going to play it.
I played it.
It feels like Super Castlevania combined with like Symphony of the Night.
I mean, I played,
so far.
Yeah, I played it in a video, but I didn't play very much of it. So if you wanted to post it, go ahead. I only played the section that I was stuck at, which is like level 4, but it has like none of the intro or anything. I just kind of hopped around from one game to another. Did you try to hook up your Wii or anything, John, to add money to it before the Wii Shop went out?
I didn't.
I guess you didn't. Yeah. Do you feel remorse at all that you can't add anything to your Wii for Virtual Console?
It's sad.
I mean, I know that you might have hopes of a so-called Virtual Console for the Switch, but even if we do get one in some way, I don't think it will be as good as the Wii Virtual Console was. I don't think anything will ever be as good as the Wii Virtual Console was. That was great. I mean, just the amount of games that we got on there, I don't think we're going to see that ever again. Just like the amount of
Turbo graphics and the Genesis and
Commodore
all that
64
unexpected
even.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Commodore 64 and an arcade. Like, well, I guess we're getting arcade archives now, but just like all the weird stuff that showed up on there, I don't think that's ever going to happen again. Like even stuff that's been delisted, like Turtles on NES. Like that's crazy. Like I couldn't believe that game was on there. Like you can't get it anymore. But I have it.
Right.
I have it and it's still on my system, so I don't need to worry, I can actually play it. But like stuff like that you just wouldn't expect to show up in there. Like the Super Star Wars games, like there's just like so much third party support, which was what really caught me off guard and was amazing, That was kind of like, they were doing like the indie to fill in the gaps before the indie to fill in the gaps happened, way back when. Like that was a really good way to keep people interested in playing the system, was just like releasing all this old stuff. Do you guys think
all the WiiWare titles? Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they don't really care that much about it, or they want to like put it all into the classic series now. I don't know. What do you guys think is going on with that?
With what?
With Nintendo and the Virtual Console.
Oh, right. Man, I don't know, because I've lost so much interest in it because I'm going back to these old consoles and getting everything anyway.
Yeah,
true.
They're not going to leave the money on the table. I mean, they know people want the old games. Mm-hmm. They're just coming up with some wacky new Netflix for game system, and it's taken them a little bit longer than they thought. But also, let's remember that the life cycle of the Wii U was cut short. The Switch, I think, was introduced. We all agree, it was introduced probably earlier than they intended.
Yeah.
So, supposing that this Virtual Console service or whatever it is going to be happens this year, this would have been right about the time that the Wii U life cycle should have ended. If it weren't such a failure.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it still went for like 5 years. I mean, that's not awful. That's like kind of.
It went for 4.
Well, almost. Yeah, it was almost 5.
Years.
It was just under 5 years. But.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's that's about like kind of a regular console life cycle, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I'm just trying to say that I think whatever's going on with the Virtual Console, but if it were a natural cycle or a regular cycle of, 5+ years, a little bit more than 5 years, whatever, then right about now would be the time that we would be introduced to the Switch. And, I'm thinking they were preparing for about now to deliver the Virtual Console system. Mm-hmm. So I'm confident that something's going to happen. They're not going to leave all that money on the table. They're going to do something with it. And hopefully we'll get access to all the weird and wonderful games that we got access to on the Wii Virtual Console.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
I don't think we're going to get it to that magnitude, because there were a lot of imports and stuff that were on there, which we'll talk about, because a lot of stuff that I bought off of there were weird imports that you can't get anywhere else. And that
I know for me personally, but for a lot of people, this was the first time they bought games online for console.
For sure. Yeah, me too.
And so it was a Wild West scenario where, this was the only platform where that was available, and like, for the most part, I think Xbox added some stuff and PlayStation also.
Well,
I think Wii was on the scene first with their...
Well, I remember making the argument to a lot of people that the Wii, because of the ability to download all the classic games and everything, and the newer games too on WiiWare, I remember making that argument that because of that, the Wii was the greatest system of all time.
Yeah, at the time it was.
Wii was not only a Wii, it was a Nintendo. It was a Super Nintendo. It was a Genesis. It was a TurboGrafx. Mm-hmm. It was all these other things that a video game system couldn't be before. Never before did we have a system that was also 10 other systems.
Yeah.
Right? And so it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was a big thing, like when it was still called the Revolution. I remember people talking about that. About the Revolution being like this center for all these different systems. And I was actually blown away when they said that Sega Genesis was going to be on there, like Sega Genesis and then later Sega Master System. Like that was a huge deal for me. I was like, really? Sega Genesis games
mind-blowing
on Nintendo? I mean, you could already buy like Sonic Mega Collection and stuff like that on there, but the whole like Virtual Console thing was like, I mean, I know we mentioned
there's a Genesis logo on a Nintendo system.
Oh yeah. And and I never, I was the other side of you, John. Like I never had a Genesis, so having all these Genesis games available now is like so amazing to me. And actually the last few games that I bought here, I think most of them were Genesis games. Like actually probably almost half of them were Genesis games on my last buy of the Wii shop. So
So ultimately, Sega won the console war.
For me, yeah. Well, I think I still have more Nintendo games on there than Sega games, but on this last buy, I did buy a lot of Sega stuff. But Jeremy and I talked about our favorite WiiWare stuff before when World of Goo came to the Switch, but we never. But you weren't on the show yet, John. So what are some of your favorite games that you remember?
My favorite
on there?
WiiWare games. Well, I loved the Strong Bad series. That was just, to me, not only like a really great series, but it was also a throwback to point and click games, which at that time, I think the game came out like 2010 or 11. Those hadn't really come back yet. Like Telltale was really coming back around that time and revitalizing the genre. And so that was a good memory for me. It was playing those games, and not only that, but playing them in a new way where I could be laying down on the couch and just casually reaching up toward the TV like I would with any old TV remote and playing a video game. I thought that was pretty awesome. So I'd put those right up there, the Strong Bad games. My number one virtual console game of all time, according to the numbers and according to my opinion, Dr. Mario RX. I love that game.
Well, that's a WiiWare game, right?
WiiWare game.
You're talking about the online one, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah, I'm kind of rolling it all into one.
Yeah.
That game, I just played it all the time, and, it was nice to, at any moment, have, somebody there on the other end to play Dr. Mario with. It was pretty cool.
I remember that one being really, really good. Like I heard a lot of good things about it. Strong Bad actually came out in 2008, believe it or not. Like it's,
oh really?
Yeah, it was August of 2008. So I thought it was earlier. I thought it was earlier than that because I remember playing it. But yeah, no, I played those games too and I liked them a lot. But yeah, I remember I almost bought the Dr. Mario game one time because I remember you telling me that it was really good. And you know the reason that I didn't get it?
Why?
Why do you think? What was the big problem that the Wii had for a while?
The big problem that we had for a while.
Yeah, it has to do with food and keeping things cold and all that.
I don't know.
I didn't want to clean out the fridge. That's why I didn't get it. Do you remember that?
You don't want to clean out the fridge. Oh yeah, of
Not
course.
enough memory.
I didn't get it because it was like 300 notes and I only had like 10 or something. I actually ended up getting Cruisin' USA instead because Cruisin' USA had less notes. It was a smaller game and that's why I ended up getting it. Even though Dr. Mario was probably the better game and they were the same price. I got Cruisin' USA because it fit on my Wii memory, you know.
You didn't want to delete stuff. Yeah, for the longest time you couldn't add the extra storage.
Yeah, that was the cleaning out the fridge, as Reggie would say. And I actually took my 30 gig micro SD card and put it in a card adapter, and I basically updated my Wii memory to 30 gigs now with the card, because now you have the card adapter thing where you can read it off your card. So I basically have limited amount of space for Wii Shop. If only I could have got a limited amount of money too, I could have bought everything on there. I really should have looked at how much I bought though, because I did buy a shitload of stuff for Virtual Console. And even like my roommate Nick that I lived with at the time, like he bought stuff too. Like I remember he bought he bought a couple games, like sometimes, like he bought like Mario 64 and I think he bought Mario Brothers 2, like the real Mario Brothers 2, the Japanese one, the import one.
Yep.
That
was cool.
He loved that game.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was a big, and like don't forget, speaking of imports, like Sin and Punishment, like that was a huge thing because like I remember reading about that thing in high school, that game, and being like, holy fuck, I always want to play this. And I even played it on a really bad emulator on my computer at one point, and it didn't run that well. But I finally got to play it like the way it's supposed to play. Like I get to play it like in the regular, in the right time. It runs right and all that. And that game's a lot of fun. Like that was really cool. And it was important. It was still all in English, which is crazy.
Yeah. That was a big deal when that finally came out, which just goes to tell you, I mean, I think they probably translated it and everything, had it ready to go and just didn't put it out. Yeah. For whatever reason.
I remember watching videos of it on IGN. I was like, man, this game looks really cool. And then it just never came around.
It's probably just too late in the cycle. That's what it probably was.
Oh, they had already moved on to GameCube?
Yeah, it was probably nearing the GameCube time, and they were just like,
Maybe, I don't know.
You're right, that was a big deal when that came out, because same thing, I would read about it in high school and be like, I can't wait to play this game, and then
never came out.
Hear the previews, and everybody was saying, whoa, like this game is amazing, and then it just went nowhere. So I was glad to see that coming back, because, at that point, we both thought it was gone forever. And then Super Mario Brothers 2, the Japanese one, the real one, when that came out, that was really cool too, because, I'd never gotten to play that before, but I knew that there was this other Super Mario Brothers 2 that was out there.
Well, there was, there was the lost levels in the Mario All-Stars, but you didn't have a Super Nintendo, so you probably didn't have that game.
I didn't have a Super Nintendo, and I didn't get to play. It still wasn't the original, if you want to be purist.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the exact original. But that was the only way we had seen original. It. Yeah.
Yep.
And that
so
game...
it was just exciting when they signaled to us. I think that release in particular was the first time Nintendo signaled to us, okay, we're going to open up and release some oddities and some things that you never thought you were going to play before.
Yeah.
And that kind of continues to this day every time they release something strange or niche out of the Nintendo archives.
Yeah, like Punch-Out, like the Punch-Out archive.
Like Punch-Out that's coming up.
Which I can't wait to play. But, yeah, and like a lot of people seem to follow suit with that. Like we mentioned earlier, Rondo of Blood, like the Castlevania game, which is supposedly a really, really hard game to get. It was, it was a PC Engine game, right? Only released in Japan, pretty much. That was a crazy thing to be, and it was released for like $8, something like that, $8-9. I know they would put an extra $1 normally for imports on there.
And it's all in German.
It is? Rondo of Blood?
Well, I don't know if I need to change the language settings, but it's all the languages in German.
Oh, yeah, no, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen a cutscene in so long that I don't know. I thought it was in Japanese. But, yeah, no, that was a big import as well. Plus there's like, a lot of the games that I got at the end here were imports. Like I got, like I said at the beginning as my middle name, Bio Bukkute Upa, which sounds like way dirtier than it actually is. But, it's a baby game where you hit things with a rattler and they turn into, balloons and float away and you can stand on them and stuff like that. Like that's an import game. That's a crazy NES import game, and it was like, what the fuck? Like I kind of found that on a video and I was like, okay, that one's too weird. I gotta get that one. But it's alright, it's a pretty good game. There was another game that I got in there called Doremi Fantasy, and it actually ended up playing a lot like the baby one. Has a similar thing where you blow bubbles at things and they float away. So you can't stand on them, but it reminded me of the baby one, the baby game. I just think it's funny that it's a baby game and you're a baby. But what did you end up getting for your final stuff, Jeremy? Like you only got, I know you got Rondo. What else did you get?
Right. So I still have a lot of money left. That's why I was hoping to like get some ideas from you what I should get next. But yeah, I got Rondo. I got, Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you played that game yet?
I got, Euphoria, which is like, I guess it came out in Europe, but not here.
Euphoria is cool. Have you played Salad Kingdom at all? Or Princess Tomato?
I played, maybe the first 10 minutes of it.
Cause it kind of reminded me a lot of, like Time to Die or like, with Shadowgate, yeah, or, Deja Vu. It's like the same sort of thing where you like move around and it's just one picture.
Which, if you list all three of those titles and then say Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom is a lot like those, boy, is that unexpected.
Well, it's like, I would say Princess Tomato is to Shadowgate what Lego City Undercover is to Grand Theft Auto.
There you go.
Yeah. I guess I could see that.
So far, it just doesn't seem like it's super violent or anything, and everything's about like being healthy with vegetables and stuff.
Yeah, but it's still.
But she does bleed red.
It's true, she does.
True.
There's MSG in there. Be careful. But
there is like the king already died from being like depressed, so that's kind of dark for a vegetable world.
Yeah, but it's the same sort of thing where like it's a static picture and you like choose to go like forward or left or right or. You could take things and give things or whatever. It's like I didn't know what to expect from Princess Tomato at all, and I played it and I was like, oh, okay. I did not expect it to be like that at all. No, I didn't play the whole thing. I played to the second chapter. I played through the first chapter. But so let me go down my list then, since you're looking for stuff to get. Let me just rattle off what I got real quick for my final purchases. So I got Gate of Thunder, which is a TurboGrafx PC Engine game. It was considered like one of the best shooter games of all time. It's really hard actually. But I do like it. I got Monster World 4, which is the final, Wonder Boy Monster World game on Sega Genesis.
It would be, the one we have is 2, right, on Switch?
I think the one we have is 3.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to tell because the numbering's weird because I have a Monster World 3 game also that's an arcade that I bought earlier. That's that's like kind of like it's like Adventure Island on crack, sort of. But, yeah, so I got Monster World 4. That's the one, I think Monster World 4 is the sequel to Dragon's Trap, but it has Monster Girl in it instead of Monster Boy. That's why it's called Monster World 4, because that's a female character. But so I got that one because I always wanted. I basically I completed my Wonder Boy collection, or the ones that I wanted to play. I bought Wonder Boy 2 for Sega Master System, which there's an arcade of that, but I got the Master System one because it's cheaper. But it's the same sort of thing. I think it's the precursor to Dragon's Trap. So if you like those type of games. Which I do. I was on a huge Monster Boy, Wonder Boy Monster World kick for a while, so I have the whole collection now on the Wii, so I can go from one to another. I also got Doremi Fantasy, which is like a platformer made by Hudson Soft. It's super cute. Like I said, it's kind of like the baby one. You blow bubbles, you can like knock guys out. I played through the first level of that. That game's a lot of fun. It's another import that you can't really get anywhere else. I got Princess Tomato. I got JJ and Jeff, just because it's a weird ass game. You know, that game that's based on, do you know what the Japanese show is? It's like Ken and something. It was based on a Japanese comedy show, basically, of these two guys. And, it's weird. And there's poop in it and stuff. And it kind of looks like that Wayne's World game on Super Nintendo, if you ever played that, with the characters with the big heads. Mm-hmm. That one is just kind of one I just got because it was bizarre. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I got it because it's weird. And, Butake Upa is the baby one. And also Euphoria, of course, were the last ones that I got there. And I think, and of course I ended up getting the Phoenix Wright trilogy. I got the last 2 episodes because you can get all of them for $10 each, and it's basically the only way you can get them to play them on your TV, and that's how I wanted to do it, to be able to have them get them captured and all that. So that's what I ended up, resting on for the last of my games. Cause I was like, do I really need the Phoenix Wright one? And then I looked up like DS prices for those last 2 games, and they were all like $30+. And I'm like, okay, I'll just get these. Good. And plus I can stream them now. I can record them. I can do stuff with them. So I always like to have the option to be able to play it on a TV. I almost got Phantasy Star 1 also, but I already have it on Game Boy Advance. So I just,
that's one I was going to mention that I thought about getting. Well, because I actually have Phantasy Star 4. I have the real cartridge of it.
Yeah. Do you have because I would say, the ones that people talk about a lot is Phantasy Star 1, 2, and 4. Apparently people don't like 3, but a lot of people really like 2. And 1, I thought about getting 1, but like I said, I bought the Phantasy Star collection for Game Boy Advance, so I do kind of have them already, and I, could stream them through that, so I ended up not getting that one. But it all kind of depends on what you want to play. Like, I don't know, like I watched, like Jeremy Parrish wrote an article about it, about different games. A lot of games that were on there I already had, like Pulseman, like I already have that game. That's the,
that's one I was thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's pretty fun.
I bought that one when it came out. I mean, it came out so long ago that I honestly don't remember. But, it was fun for what it was, I guess. It's it's the Game Freak guys who did Pokemon making a game on Genesis, which is pretty crazy. That was
before they did the Pokemon game, right?
Yeah, that was pre-Pokemon. Was Pulseman. I'd say watch some videos of the stuff before you get it, But, what was it? I don't know if this is one I got a long time ago. I got it when it came out, but the arcade version of Space Harrier is pretty amazing on there. I don't know if you ever got that, but you can actually, there's like a fake, joystick thing where you like move the nunchuck around. Like when, you use the motion control and the nunchuck to pretend to be joystick. And that's really cool. Like I had a lot of fun with that game. Like I remember playing that game wasted one time. Like I got home drunk and I was just like, and I was just playing it. And I don't know. It was a really cool arcade version, like it's probably the best version of Space Harrier that's on there. I know you can get it for Master System also, but get the arcade version. Same thing. You can get the arcade version of Wonder Boy 2. The Master System one, that one's supposed to be good, but it's like $9, so I went with the $5 one. But there's a lot of really cool shit on there. Like I said, I recommend any of the Wonder Boy Monster World stuff. Like those are all good. 4 looks really, really good. Like it's like the graphics look great. It plays really well. There's like a down stab move that you can do. It's a lot of fun to play. If you're looking for weird stuff, the baby game is pretty good for that, I guess, if you're looking for strange import stuff.
It reminded me a little bit of Bubble Bobble.
Yeah.
Side-scrolling Bubble.
Well, the Doremi Fantasy is very much like that too, because you spit bubbles at people and they float away just like they do in Bubble Bobble. So, but it's all kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like what your taste is. And also you have to figure out an equation to like equal it out to where it'll use all your points, of course, So I calculated a bunch of stuff before I can get on there. There were a couple games that I wanted that I didn't end up getting, like Zombies Ain't My Neighbors. That was a LucasArts game. I think it's a sequel to Maniac Mansion, right? Or no, is that Day of the Tentacle?
That's not Zombie Ate My Neighbors, but there is one that's a sequel to Maniac Mansion.
No,
that's Day of the Tentacle.
That's Day of the Tentacle. But I thought it was done by some of the same developers.
No, there was something else that was listed on in Jeremy Parrish's article. It was a sequel to Maniac Mansion, but it wasn't Day of the Tentacle.
It was Zombie Ate My Neighbors was the one that was on there.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because that's a LucasArts one. It's by the same company that did Maniac Mansion. That was one I was thinking about getting, but I ended up not getting it. Like Ogre Battle on Super Nintendo, like that's one that I thought about.
Oh no, I was
also.
thinking Milon's Secret Castle, which is Doremi.
Yeah, that's the one I got. Yeah, I got that one.
That's what I thought we were talking about.
No, Doremi is the Bubble Bobble one. That's like the baby one. Those games are both similar, but I think you would like that one. It's kind of like Kirby, but not Kirby. It's like a colorful platforming thing with like a map. Kind of like Yoshi's Island, that type of thing. But yeah, I'm sad that I can't get anything more on this. But at the same time, I think I got a good amount. Did you end up getting?
You'll never see Mario running across the screen and collecting coins.
Yeah.
In the Wii shop again.
I was trying to find a GIF for that for my Twitter, but I couldn't find it. But yeah, no, that's such a funny, like, fuck you way to say, like, we're downloading, but we're also eating your coins. We're eating your money. Yep. That's a very funny way to do that, where it's like, hey.
It's Mario and he's taking the money. Oh wait, it's my money.
Yeah. I always kind of liked how Nintendo would find ways to, take a normal thing like a download bar and make it, like, interesting. Where they have like the 3 different blocks and like each time you hit one, that shows your progress and then you get to the end and hit a bunch. They did a similar thing with the 3DS also, like when you download and it's like a drip or whatever that goes in. Remember they like a guy flies by and it drips into a box and it turns into like a present and all that. They got rid of that finally where it just shows like megabyte numbers and all that, but I kind of miss that stuff. I kind of miss them like adding their own, their own personality to it. Yeah, where they're like, oh, we're gonna do this animation of, and like Mario would change. Like sometimes he'd be swimming, or sometimes like it'd be Luigi, or sometimes you could throw fireballs. I don't know if you ever caught that, but sometimes you could hit A while you're doing it and you'd throw fireballs, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah, it would change to different animations. I like the swimming one. I always thought that was funny, where it's like swims around and then hits the blocks and. That's how you do it.
Well, now I can never try that.
You'll have to find videos of it because you can't do it.
You shouldn't have told me.
Oh.
Was Mario Party 2? I can get that on Switch, or I can get that on the Wii U, right?
You can, yeah. Yeah, you might want to check. Like,
I still don't have that, but I think I want to get that.
Mario Party 2 is really good. It's probably my favorite Mario Party, I think, in the grand scheme of Mario parties. And yeah, you can get that on Switch. Make sure if you're same with like TurboGrafx games, make sure you check that those are on if those are on Wii U or not, because they did get a lot of releases recently on Wii U that were TurboGrafx 16 games that they kind of unloaded towards the end there. So
yeah,
but I don't know. I mean, I ended up not getting Moto Heroes, unfortunately. I couldn't bring myself to pay $15 for it. So I'll have to play your copy at some point. But you could sell it on eBay and be like, hey, this is the only Wii that has Moto Heroes. I'll sell it to you for $1,000. I think maybe I should
do a video of that one, because you definitely haven't done that one.
You can do you should do Rondo too, because like I said, I only did like one small section of it. Feel free to go for that.
I'll do a Moto Heroes
because I'm not going to do it. Yeah. So I'm definitely not going to do it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other ones that stood out for me. I guess there's 2 Splatterhouse games on there. I thought those were fun. I played a little bit of Splatterhouse 1 last night. Like they did 1 and 2 being on Sega Genesis. But a lot of the Genesis stuff is like, maybe it'll get re-released and whenever they do their 50-in-1 thing, which they're not doing for Switch, but they might, I don't know, in some form. I went for the Wonder Boy stuff because they probably won't be on there,
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Streets of Rage and like Sonic and all that stuff you expect to be re-released. But it's amazing. It was amazing how many like 64 games and stuff like that ended up being on there. Like Cruisin' USA or like what was it, Pokemon Puzzle League? Like that was a really big release. Or like, they did the Snap too. Pokemon Snap was on there as well. Mm-hmm. Which is really, really cool releases. What was your like biggest surprise out of those out of the Virtual Console stuff, Jeremy, that you saw?
You mean the original Wii Virtual Console?
Of the releases, like what was like most obscure, where you're like, oh hey, this is crazy.
Oh, probably, I mean, I remember my mind being blown when Sin and Punishment came out. I think that was one of the first games that came out where they charged extra because it was an import.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that blowing my mind. I didn't play a lot of it. I did buy it. It was on someone else's Wii, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
My roommate at the time. But I paid for the game because I wanted to play it. And it was hard, but I enjoyed it, what I played of it.
Sure.
But yeah, that blew my mind. Like they were actually releasing like games that never came to the US before. And it just made it seem like anything could happen on the Wii. Even more than it already was.
Yeah,
you could get that one again now.
Well, that one
I could, and I have the money for it. I mean, I have 4,200 points on the Wii Shop right now.
Well, I was going to say, don't get that one because that one is available on Wii U.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. They actually released both of them. They released the Wii sequel to it also on the eShop for the Wii U, which is pretty awesome. So I got both of those on that side. But yeah, I
think I'll probably definitely get Phantasy Star because I don't think I can get that anywhere else for cheap.
Mm-hmm. Phantasy Star 1.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah,
I could probably get it on Steam. It's probably cheap on Steam.
Yeah. It depends on how you want to do it. Like I did a lot of them because I wanted to stream them and I don't use Steam and I don't stream anything off my computer.
Yeah.
I say go for the weird stuff. Like go for the weird import stuff more than anything else. Like whatever harder to find the better. You know, like Monster World 4, like I think that's the only time it was released was on the Wii, I think, from what I saw, so that's kind of why I went for that. But I like those games a lot, so I got all of them. But is there any more you want to say about the Wii Shop and Virtual Console? I don't want to go too late on this.
I'm sad.
Yeah.
Because it's something that it's like you don't know what you got until it's gone. It's totally that with the Wii Shop because this shit's been out for almost 12 years. Well, I guess closer to 11, but I mean, that's a long time for something to exist in the internet ecosystem. Mm-hmm. Like it's a fast moving universe, the World Wide Web, and the eShop's just been sitting there this whole time and I've neglected it. And now I've got I'm on a desert island and I've got X amount of stuff I can have with me. And I've got 4,200 Wii points worth of desert island games and I'm kind of scared to buy them, but I mean, I have a limited amount of time to do it.
Well, you have till January of next year, so you have some time. That's when I'm actually going to start freaking out is to make sure, cause I have to go through and make sure that everything is downloaded on my Wii.
Yeah,
because
you have all your backups and stuff.
Yeah, because after January of next year, like you won't even be able to download them. So you got to make sure you have everything on there. And of course, there were some main ones that I got. Like I got Chrono Trigger, I got Final Fantasy II. Like those are both on there. I got Secret of Mana. So there were games that I had already bought a long time ago that I made sure that I had.
Same here.
Like I already had Chrono Trigger on there, and I already had like Streets of Rage, and I have all the Final Fights on there, which are available for everything. But
the March of the Black Queen.
Oh, you do have the Super Nintendo one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I thought about getting that one, but I didn't get it because I have the 64 one on Wii U, and I don't know, I just couldn't really get into it, so I just ended up not going with that one. But yeah, it's amazing, like all the stuff that ended up on there, and it's hard to say like what I feel sad because, like I said, I don't think we'll ever see it again, and it makes me super sad.
Nothing like that.
I don't think we'll see that amount of support, like for the most part, just.
And a lot of that had to do with them blazing the trail, and now it's well-worn territory.
Yeah. It's a shame. And all the Neo Geo stuff on there is probably all going to get re-released, so at least you have that. But those, like the Master System and the Genesis stuff and the TurboGrafx was all stuff I really liked because I never was able to own any of those, didn't have any of that stuff, so it's really cool. Or like 64 games that you lost, that were re-released on there. I always get that shit. And, if you're looking for a super bizarre first-person shooter, get Onslaught. Like that was kind of a game that sort of blew me away just how ridiculously big it was for a downloadable game.
So it's a
WiiWare game.
WiiWare?
Yeah.
Onslaught.
There's that Jet Rocket game too that I kind of wish I would have got. It's like a 3D platformer that was downloaded. Do you remember that? Do you remember that Rocket Jet game or Jet Rocket, whatever it's called? Look that one up. I kind of was like, oh well, maybe I should have got that like after the fact, but you can only get so many games, But all of those sequels to games that were like Castlevania Reborn and like Contra Reborn and like Blaster Master and Alien Crush and all those games are good. Like all the sequels they did to older games on WiiWare, I thought all those were pretty tight. That Final Fantasy, well speaking of Final Fantasy 2, the Final Fantasy 4 After Years stuff was cool too. I don't know if you played any of that. They did a whole like sequel to it that was all sprite based. It was a Japanese cell phone game, but they ported it to WiiWare. Like that was cool as well. I know a lot of people really like the My Life as a Dark Lord or My Life as a King or whatever those Crystal Chronicle games
Crystal
people were into.
Chronicles.
Yeah. And like John was saying, that Dr. Mario game was dope. Yeah, it's hard to mention how many of them there were. Like, when we talked about it in our previous episode, like Strong Bad and Nick's Quest was cool. Like, a lot of like fun 2D stuff like that. But is there any if you guys don't have any final thoughts for the Virtual Console stuff, we can wrap it up here. Is there anything more you want to say? I mean, next week, you can let us know, of course, what you end up spending those 4,200 points on and all that.
Yeah, and I'll be playing a little bit more of the games I have already.
For sure. Cool. All right. Well, this has been our episode 114. Our salute to the Wii Shop as it gets lowered into the grave of, hopefully the eShop won't go there as soon, or the DSiWare shop or whatever. But yeah, it's the first internet shop that has been killed of Nintendo. It's sad. But, if you can catch us at NintenDomainPodcast.com. We do streams. I do, new Switch game streams on Thursdays. We do, Splatoon 2 streams on Friday nights. There'll probably be an ARMS stream on Saturday as well, and I do retro stuff on Sunday. So check out twitch.tv/NintenDomainPodcast. You can find all that stuff. We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Fingmater, FINGMATER. And we're on Spotify now too. So, look for a Nintendo Main Podcast on Spotify. We're on there. You can listen to us in that area. So that's pretty rad. We've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
Jeremy Mikowski.
John Linder.
And thanks for listening. And you can email us at NintendoMainPodcast@gmail.com as well. And we'll see you next week.
See you.
Hell, Breezy. Let me show you how to keep the dice rolling when you're doing that thing over there. Hey, let's go! Cause I'm feeling like I'm running and I'm feeling like I gotta get away. Better know that I don't and I won't ever stop. Cause you know I gotta win every day. Go! Really wanna pop me. Go! Just know that you will never flop me. And I know that I gotta be a little cocky. Go! You ain't never gonna stop me. Every time I come a nigga gotta set it, then I gotta go and then I gotta get it, then I gotta blow and then I gotta shut it. Any little thing a nigga think that he be doing cause it doesn't matter cause I'm gonna dead it. Then I'm gonna murder everything and anything about it. Boom, about a bing. I gotta do a lot of things to make it clearer to a couple niggas that I always win and then I gotta get it again and again and again. And I be doing it to death and now I move a little foul. Nigga better call a rap and everybody know my style. Niggas know that I'm the best when it comes to doing this and I be banging on my chest and I'm banging in the east and I'm banging in the west and I come to give you more and I will never give you less. You will hear it in the street or you can read it in the press. Do you really wanna know what's next? Let's go. See the way we on it and we all up in the race and you know we gotta go and try to keep up with the pace and we struggling to hustle and to set it and to get it and we always gotta do and take it to another place. Gotta taste it and I gotta grab it and I gotta cut all through this traffic just to be at the top of the dome but I know I gotta have it.
Done.